Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Da Silva family. We are back once again with the journey of youth. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Young people, let me tell you one common thing that keeps happening. First-time parents, especially within the young people community, when they become parents for the first time, there's a lot of people or young people, when they have kids for the first time, they tend to split. People always break up. I never understood why people always broke up or break up. They have a child, after 6 months or 8 months, the parents break up. Now, here's what I've learned from a man's perspective, from my perspective, especially from my perspective, but I believe most men can relate to this. This is what I've learned and what I had the opportunity to observe being a first-time parent. Is that when your woman gives birth, it is your duty as a man to take care of her, because that first 6 months is so intensive, overwhelming for her and for you, mainly for her. Because one thing you need to understand is that soon as a woman gives birth, her whole attention, especially on the first child, you have to understand this is her first time and your first time. But with her, she's trying to figure out everything. She cannot give attention to you and the child. And having a child for the first time, her primarily focus is the child. It's not like when you guys are dating, there's no children involved, it's just the two of you. It's easy for her to focus on you. But that 6 months of giving birth, she's focused on the child, meaning that she's not neglecting you. She's focused on the child, where your duty as a secondary parent or as a secondary person in her life, your duty is to take care of her while she takes care of the child. That's what I've learned. That's what I had to observe. Because the first few years of the child needs the mother. Doesn't matter whether it's a boy or a girl, it needs the mother. It needs that motherly attention, that motherly love, nurturing energy towards the child, early stage of the child's growth. I was reading somewhere, or I think it was a podcast, I can't remember who said this, I think it was Jordan Peterson. He said that for a boy needs the father's presence from the age of 7 onwards. Not from 0 till 7. 0 to 7, the baby boy needs the mother's presence. He needs the mother's nurturing and love and kisses and all that comes with it. Not to say that the father cannot be present. I'm speaking specifically for young boys, young babies. I'm speaking specifically for baby boys, not girls, where the mother is there to nurture the child from 0 to 7. When he turns 7, that's when the father needs to be hands-on, because that male presence, that fatherly presence needs to be there, hands-on, because that's when the boy becomes extremely active, and that's when the boy wants to express or the expression or the energy of being a boy tends to blossom. And this is where the father comes in to teach him discipline, to teach him manners, to teach him how to carry himself, to be a man, how to be a man in general. But in my case, I've got a girl. In my case, I've got a girl. What have I learned in the past 2 years? Because she's turning 2 next month. Well, this month. What have I learned? Raising a girl. I don't have the experience of raising a little boy, but I've got a 2 years experience of raising a girl, trying to figure things out as we go along. And she's learning to talk, she's walking, she's extremely active. She's in her rebellious stage of the horrible twos, the toddler stage, where they are going through that toddler hormones, where they're going through that stage of confusion and not knowing how to express, where they're experiencing anger, happiness, fear, and excitement at the same time. They don't know how to maneuver around those feelings. And you as a parent, you trying to figure out too. Children, toddlers, that when they can't talk, their best way to express is either to scratch, to slap, or scream, or cry. That's their form of expressing their frustration. Not until they start talking, that's when they will be able to express verbally. But what have I learned? I've learned to, when my partner makes a decision, say for example, my little girl wants sweet, and my partner says no, and then my baby comes to me and asks for that same sweet, even though the mother already said no. I have to go with what the mother said. Vice versa. If I say no to something, she has to go with it as well. And one major thing as well is the part where if I was to tell my daughter not to do something, she listens to me. If I look at her and she's doing something that she's not supposed to, she stops. But whenever it's her mother telling her to stop doing certain things, she likes to push the boundaries with my partner, with her mum. But what I've learned is when my partner is telling her off in front of me, I tend to watch and not react, because I need her to learn to listen to her mother. Her mother doesn't have to tell me that I have to tell her off because she's not listening. Multiple times where my partner is telling her off to stop doing something and she's not listening, and I'm in the same room, I just look at her and ask her and tell her, are you listening? Are you listening to mommy? And then she stops. I think the wrong way to go about it is to mimic what my partner is saying to her or doing to her. If my partner says stop doing this or stop climbing, I can't say no, stop climbing, because then it will come across, what will happen is she'll create this habit of, when I'm not home, she will not listen to my partner. I think taking the approach of just looking at her and asking her whether she's listening to mommy will create a habit of listening to mommy when I'm not home. And I've learned to keep a balance. I've learned to keep a balance in the sense of, I play the bad cop, my partner plays the good cop most of the time. But at the same time, even though I'm the strictest in parenting, I still keep that balance of being, overly playing all the time. I've got the energy to play with her all the time, playing hide and seek, giving her sweets when she's not supposed to have sweets, giving her juice when she's not supposed to have juice, giving her chocolates and all sorts when she's not supposed to, because I'm strict 70% and 30% soft. Because my daughter, she knows when it comes, she knows when I'm being serious. This is why I only have to tell her once when she's doing something wrong, and she stops straight away. She knows I don't go over the top with the sweets. But if I do give her sweets, I'm doing out of love. But if I tell her not to have sweets, she knows there is a reason why dad is telling me not to have sweets. Because when he gives me sweets, he gives me, even when I'm not supposed to have sweets, he still gives me sweets. But when the time comes for him, when he tells me not to have sweets or not to do something, there's a reason for that, and he means it. My daughter has picked up on that. Children are very smart. She has picked up on that. She knows when dad is being serious, when dad is not being serious. Again, it's a learning process. I'm still learning being a parent. But then, yeah, for young people out there, for those young boys having children for the first time, do not panic. Be there for your partner, and your partner will be there for your child. And the relationship will work out. If you're panicking, you're watching this video, you just had a child for the first time, or you just find out that your partner is pregnant for the first time, do not panic. Here's what you have to do. This is your duty right now. Take care of your partner, and your partner will take care of the child. And when I say take care of your partner, I don't mean neglect your child and just pay attention to your partner. If you take care of your child, your partner will have the energy to if you take care of your partner will have energy to take care of the child. One great example, it was when my partner was on maternity for a year. And during that maternity, the child, my baby, was still sleeping with us. But then I had a plan in place. I knew that come February, my partner is going back to work. So by November, I need to start training the baby to start sleeping by herself. So the child would have been 7 months by then, or 8 months roughly. I said, okay, come November, December, January, February, like 3 months of just training the child to sleep by herself in her own room, so that when my partner goes back to work, she won't struggle in the evenings and getting less sleep, and then the next morning having to wake up to go to work. So that 3 months straight, I was the one putting the baby to bed, waking up in the middle of the night to trying to get her back to sleep. When you put her to bed, she'll be crying and fussing and crying because she wanted to go in her bed. I had to sleep on the floor in the nursery while she's in her crib, crying and looking at me, and I'm there on the floor with the pillow waiting for her to fall asleep. When she falls asleep, I'm trying to sneak out of the room. After 5 minutes, she wakes up again. I'm going back into the room, and it's just like it just turned into a whole chaos whilst my partner sleeping. But then after 2 months, my little baby gotten used to it, where my partner then will get her bed ready for bed, shower her, and then I was the one to read to her and then put her in her bed. She will fall asleep, and now she just sleeps through the night. You put her to bed, she sleeps through the night. Where by the time February came, 9 o'clock, 8:30, the baby was in bed, sleeping just throughout the night. And that gave my partner time to sleep and have proper rest to go to work the next day, where we could sleep from 9 p.m. to the next morning. We didn't have a baby waking up in the middle of the night crying. Till now, you know. Now, come 9 o'clock, she's fussing. She wants to go to bed. As a child, like as a toddler now, it's a habit. It's her body clock has already been set for that. So she, as a toddler, she sleeps at 9 p.m., wakes up at 9 or 8 a.m., ready to go to nursery. And as a parent, we getting enough rest throughout the night. So yeah, as a man, your part really is to be there for your partner in order for her to have energy to take care of the child. Logan Silva, thank you. Do not forget to subscribe. We're gonna keep touching these topics and talking about these things. It's the journey of youth. It's the journey of youth. I was once a youth. Now I'm an adult with a family. Old big man, 34 this year. I'm gonna turn 34 this year. So yeah, I'm gonna keep sharing my experience with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you.